How high school made me realize how lucky I truly am. When I came to Joliet West my freshman year, I can honestly admit I did not have a clue about anything. But nearing the end of my senior year, I have learned a lot, and I feel as though I have experienced a lot. I have made great friends, made great relationships, and have had great memories. The most important things I have learned about are my family and my community. When I entered my freshman year, I had what I thought was a serious girlfriend. I have learned that nothing is serious freshman year and never to take anything too seriously, but that is a story for another narrative. Anyways, I had this girlfriend and we had problems, and my family knew about them. And my family has always told me that there was other fish in the sea and to move on if this girl was giving me problems. I appreciated this advice, but I never really took it. During my freshman year, I read Romeo and Juliet by Shakespeare and saw how the families forbid their children from seeing each other, so they had to do it behind their backs. I saw how they were not given the freedom to pick the relationships, and there was no advice giving. It was a dictatorship. This really allowed me to appreciate my family giving me the freedom to make my own choices and not telling me how to live my life, but giving me guidance when I needed it the most. Looking back, I should have listened to them and let her go. I eventually did, but my family was right. Family is permanence. Any girl can fly into my life and change things, but family is ultimately important and cannot be replaced. There are many times in which I would pick her over my family, even in their times of needs. I regret this, but I have learned from it to shape the future even better. With this newfound respect and appreciation for my family, I started seeing my community around me in a different way as well. I started making good friends and seeing how a lot of people seem to really care about each other in this school. Some people think there are a lot of snakes in our school. I personally disagree. I have met a lot of great people and very few have stabbed me in the back. I always thought about how my community would react if something bad were to happen to me. These thoughts specifically started hitting me when I was reading the book In Cold Blood in my junior English class, 2 years later. In the book In Cold Blood, when the family was murdered, the whole community gathered around the town and plotted to find the murderers and or possibly strike revenge. I was able to compare my situation to my community. I thought to myself, would my community stand up for me in the time of need? I think so. Being able to put myself in a situation where my friends had to stand up for me allowed me to realize how much I really appreciate the good people I have surrounded with. A community is there to back you up in your times of need, and I have always had friends who would be there for me. Now, in my senior year, I am ultimately grateful for many things. I have great family, great friends, and a great life. Looking back, I sometimes feel like people did not have my best interests at heart. But as I grow older, I realize sometimes they still do not. I know there is one person who has always had my best interests at heart, and that is my dad. Even though my dad and I have had a lot of fights and arguments in the past, I realize that he is my main man, and as much as we disagree at times, he cares about me more than anyone else does. When I was reading the book The Road in my senior English class, this really related to my life and my relationship with my dad. If I were going to be stuck with anyone during an apocalypse, it would be my dad. I could literally picture him and I being in the situation and acting in a similar way. As a dad, he had always done what he could to keep me happy, safe, and comfortable. Obviously, we never have been in a situation such as The Road, but if we were, he would have taken care of me just like the man did the boy. During my 4 years of high school, I started as a naive boy who did not know much about the family really around me really meant to me. Now, nearing graduation, I have newfound respect for my family and my community. Family is about being there for each other and caring for each other like no one else does. Sometimes you will feel as though your family does not have your best interests at heart, but most of the time, they will. And for my community, we are closer than we ever were. We have each other's backs, stand for each other in a time of need, and most importantly, they surround me with positivity. The academic experience I have had allowed me to compare my life to the lives of the characters and appreciate what I have more than I used to. Thank you.